just trying to give them a little more room to relax.
For centuries, people have wondered how crocodiles survived from the age of dinosaurs until today. Here is evidence that crocodiles were able to survive even during the Ice Age. Please hit the like button and be sure to subscribe to this channel. Shall we begin? Something is sticking out of the ice here. It's the snout of a crocodile. This crocodile is hibernating in the ice. The park manager is creating space so the crocodiles can breathe comfortably. Crocodiles are reptiles. Therefore, it's different from the way mammals hibernate. Reptile hibernation is called brumation. They're not fully asleep. They've just drastically lowered their body temperature and metabolism.
I'm confident I can hibernate too. Let's meet next spring.
That's not possible. If you're more curious about the hibernation of mammals and reptiles, watch the video until the end. Over here, there's a baby lion that's been frozen for 28,000 years. 2 experts collected it themselves and are currently investigating it. This little one is now nicknamed Sparta. The amazing thing is that its whiskers are still intact. Even though an incredible 28,000 years have passed, its fur, whiskers, and preservation state are fantastic. Experts are focusing on how Sparta was preserved for so long with virtually no damage, and in what environment it lived. Have you ever seen a lion living in a cave? These days, you can mainly see lions in places like the African savanna. But what about when the Earth was cold during an ice age? Among the extinct lions, there were some that lived in caves to avoid the cold. People often assume it was just an ancient subspecies of lions or tigers. However, because their teeth and skull structures were very different, they are classified as a completely different species called Panthera spelaea. According to research, they branched off from modern lions about 1.9 million years ago. In the past, they had a body length of about 2.5 to 3 meters, a shoulder height of about 1.5 meters, and weighed 400 kilograms. That size is bigger than any large cat alive today. Research shows that toward the end of the last ice age, their body size became smaller, comparable to today's jaguars. It's not precisely known why they became smaller. The main reason is believed to be environmental factors like climate and changes in prey. There's debate over whether they lived in groups or solitary. One thing is certain, they hunted medium to large herbivores such as reindeer, horses, deer, and bison. Remarkably, in the cave relics of Paleolithic humans, a half-man, half-lion figure was found. It seems humans were both prey and also worshipped the lion at the same time. There are multiple hypotheses about why they went extinct, including climate change and a shortage of prey. Have you heard about the story of the Ice Maiden from Siberia in the 5th century BC? There's a mummy called the Princess of Ukok. This maiden mummy was excavated in 1993 on the Ukok Plateau in the Altai Republic. In this region, water seeps in, freezes, and the ice rarely melts due to the climate, which allowed it to be trapped in ice for 2,400 years, remaining preserved. Interestingly, this Ice Maiden was destined to be reburied. The Council of Elders in the Altai Republic claimed that the 2003 Altai earthquake, floods, and other disasters were caused by the curse of the Ice Maiden, and they reached this conclusion after a council vote. In October 2003, the Altai Republic experienced its worst earthquake in 46 years, with a magnitude of 7.3, destroying thousands of houses and causing about 1,800 casualties. After that, natural disasters continued, and the Altai natives believed it was the curse of the Ice Maiden. The museum that was taking care of this Ice Maiden said they respected the Council of Elders' decision, but reinterment would require verification by the Russian Ministry of Culture or Education. Eventually, after being kept in a Novosibirsk research facility for 19 years, it returned to the Gorno-Altaysk National Museum in 2012 due to strong demands by the Altai people. It is said that the mummy is still in very good condition. It's believed there may be more relics and mummies in the Altai region, but no further excavations are allowed due to local residents' requests. Did you know that the elephant known as the mammoth, which once disappeared, might be resurrected? There's still a big hurdle called ethical issues. However, with genetic combinations and stem cell technologies, the possibilities are increasing. Mammoths, which existed from prehistoric times to the early historical era, are close relatives of elephants. Mammoths aren't only the woolly mammoth we commonly picture. There were several species that lived in warm climates. Some species, like the Columbian mammoth and the steppe mammoth, had very little hair. In fact, the woolly mammoth resembled the Asian elephant in size, while the massive size was characteristic of the Columbian mammoth. These mammoths were heavily hunted by Paleolithic humans, such as Neanderthals, and later Homo sapiens. After the Ice Age ended, the climate changed, and hunting and breeding problems caused by a declining population accelerated their extinction. However, thanks to frozen carcasses discovered in Siberia, DNA extraction research is in full swing. There's an idea to use the uterus of a modern elephant to resurrect them, and research teams from places like Harvard are trying to create a hybrid elephant with mammoth genes. But no one has actually succeeded in bringing a living mammoth back yet. The biggest issues are indeed ethical and ecological disruption concerns.
If this goes on, maybe Jurassic World will actually happen.
Besides the mammoth, there was another species of rhino we know today. Even though it's been extinct for 10,000 years, a woolly rhinoceros was found in almost perfect condition. These rhinos mainly lived during the Pleistocene, between 2.6 million and 11,700 years ago. They were discovered in the Siberian permafrost, the same place where the Siberian ice maiden was found. This permafrost remains frozen for more than half the year at temperatures below 32 Fahrenheit degrees. Thanks to this, the woolly rhino was naturally mummified, with its horn and soft tissue perfectly preserved. Scientists are analyzing it to uncover its ecology during the Ice Age and the reason for its extinction. It's extremely rare to find a woolly rhino this well preserved. Interestingly, due to climate change, the Siberian permafrost is melting these days, so these ancient animal mummies might continue to be discovered. Have you ever seen a frozen frog, not a frozen human? This frog is a mysterious tree frog newly discovered at the top of the Andes Mountains. Tree frogs have a characteristic that their bodies freeze in winter. Its body is dark brown with orange spots as a highlight. There's an extra toe called the prepollex on the outside of the thumb, which looks like a large claw. The research team suspects this claw is used for defense against predators or for competition during mating. Some types of tree frogs actually freeze more than 65% of their body water during hibernation. It's an incredible ability because even their heartbeat stops.
Wow, that's exactly like a frozen human.
Right. We don't have the technology yet to revive frozen humans. But after these frogs hibernate, they wake up again. There's still a lot of undiscovered territory, so new species might keep appearing. The problem is that this species was already endangered as soon as it was discovered. That's because the small region where it lives falls within the range of China's mining development. Chinese companies invest in developing major mineral resources like copper and lithium in places such as Peru and Ecuador. Since the frog's distribution hasn't been widely confirmed, this threat could be extremely dangerous for it. In the 1960s and 70s, there was something called the Iceman that became famous all over the US and Canada. It was a human-like creature in ice, displayed in sideshows at fairs, carnivals, and malls. At the time, it was advertised as the missing link between modern humans and Neanderthals. This bizarre creature was about 1.8 meters tall, with long hair, and showed damage around the arms or eyes. Rumors said it might have been killed by a bullet. Frank Hansen, who ran the sideshow, said it was found in Siberia and that the real owner was an eccentric millionaire from California.
Could it be a real human corpse? That's scary.
It does look like that. So people reported it to the FBI, worried it might be a real human corpse or a rare creature. But the results were shocking. Smithsonian researchers concluded it was most likely a fake made of rubber and hair. In the end, there's talk that Hansen quietly replaced the original Iceman and began displaying an entirely new Iceman. That means he might have changed its frozen state occasionally or even used two of them alternately. The twists don't end there. In 2013, this lavish rubber doll was listed on eBay. People wondered who would buy it, but eventually a strange museum in Austin, Texas won the bid, and it's still on display today. The prevalent conclusion is that it's a typical fake made for sideshows, but nobody has proven it's a fake with absolute certainty. A recent claim suggests it could be a giant ape brought back during military service in Vietnam, adding to the conspiracy theories. Anyway, it's now on display in Texas for everyone to see, so if you're curious, you might want to check it out. A tiny but shocking creature was found 1 kilometer beneath the Antarctic ice. It's a tardigrade. Generally, only microorganisms were expected there, but a tardigrade corpse was found together with crustaceans.
Is that really so amazing?
Listen carefully. 1 kilometer under the Antarctic ice, there is no light. The temperature is extremely low, and the pressure is high. It's also nearly isolated from the outside, with extremely scarce nutrients. Finding a multicellular animal like a tardigrade and crustaceans, not just simple microorganisms, in this environment is extraordinary. Moreover, tardigrades usually inhabit mossy or damp places. It's very unusual to find them in a place like that. Why were these tardigrades discovered in a subglacial lake in Antarctica? It's believed there was a warm period in Antarctica from about 10,000 to as much as 120,000 years ago. At that time, these organisms lived in streams or ponds near the Transantarctic Mountains. Then, as the climate cooled again, they died and were relatively well preserved in the subglacial lake. By figuring out the environments in which these creatures once thrived, we can gather clues about whether Antarctica could become warm again someday. So even tiny organisms shouldn't be underestimated. We never know what else is hidden beneath the Antarctic ice, and perhaps a Yeti-like wonder might appear in the future. Did you know there are 2 kinds of hibernation? The one we usually know in mammals is called hibernation, but when reptiles face colder temperatures and reduced sunlight, they enter a slightly different kind of winter dormancy. It's a dormant state called brumation. First of all, brumation is not complete sleep. Reptiles don't remain in a long, deep sleep, but rather lower their energy levels. In this state, they're not fully awake and moving, but sometimes they drink water or briefly move around. Low temperatures are the main trigger, but reduced sunlight also plays a very important role. When sunlight decreases, the reptile's body lowers its metabolic rate to prepare for brumation. During this period, they don't eat food, but they often look for water. Without water intake, they would become dehydrated.
What about nutrient deficiency, aside from water?
That's extremely important. They burn off body fat they've stored. The ultimate example of that strategy is the camel, but that's another story. If you want to hear about camels next time, please subscribe and like right now. These days, many people raise reptiles as pets. If so, you have to monitor your pet's weight and overall health before brumation. Otherwise, they may risk nutritional deficiency. Moreover, the duration of brumation varies. Depending on the species and environment, it can last from a few weeks to several months. Interestingly, brumation can be beneficial for mating in some reptiles. With energy conserved and the body refreshed, their breeding success rate increases.